Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here. If you're waiting for the new sci-fi RPG Exodus from Archetype Entertainment, you might have already heard the latest news. The studio has decided to limit the character creation. Naturally, there were disappointed reactions from the gamers to this announcement. However, there is customization possible to a certain degree, and I was wondering about any options for future modding as well. Will it be possible though? So the original post from the studio is stating, amongst other information in their June community update, "This has been a long journey, and along the way we made a creative decision to build a more defined character. Our customization feature set is focused on curated options rather than a full slider-based character creator. This means June will have a more established look, with options including hairstyles, facial hair, hair color, eye color, makeup and tattoos. We're excited to pull back the curtain and give sneak peeks at some of those customization options in the Exodus Discord over the next few months. We hope you'll see how it fits into our vision for June, while still giving you the flexibility to bring some of your own style to the character." Now, aside from the contradiction of saying that they want to be transparent and then limiting this kind of information to reveals in a single Discord server, which I find rather amusing and not in a positive way, there were of course various reactions to this announcement. And for the most part, the gamers' feedback hasn't been so great. Most players are mentioning being disappointed, as an important part of a game's replayability is being able to fully customize their character. This way the main protagonist feels more unique, and within an RPG where you have multiple options of choices and outcomes, it just feels more personalized if the character also visually represents these various playstyles and can be changed significantly from playthrough to playthrough. Some others are saying that because it's a third-person game, you won't see your character so much outside of dialogues, and therefore they don't care so much. But this is a bit tricky if you ask me. Sure, in combat you really have other worries than the infamous hair physics, but for the most part in recent sci-fi RPGs, this aim for that Mass Effect style makes you do interact a lot with others during the game, and there's usually plenty of cutscenes showing your character. And in that case, it's already noticeable when the facial features just feel off for you in a predefined character model. As many people were pointing out, the faces are giving them strong uncanny valley vibes, and they're asking the devs whether the faces will be still tweaked and polished, or whether what we're seeing is the final design. Because for a lot of players this will have an impact on whether they buy the game immediately, wait for a sale, or just don't care about it at all. There have been posts which stated that this would be a deal breaker for them. That might not be true for the majority of players, of course, but it is an indicator how much these kinds of decisions impact the overall game's perception by the gaming community before the game even releases. Whether this decision to limit the options was maybe due to financial restrictions, or simply because it was easier to better maintain a certain visual consistency of the main character in dialogues or in action sequences recorded from mocap, is a good question. Probably it's a combination of both factors. It still doesn't change much on the mixed feelings from the players and the fact that for many the enthusiasm for the game has just been significantly reduced. My take here would be very similar to what the others have already stated. It's a disappointing limitation, but all the more important it'll be for the PC gamers how much you can mod the game. And hopefully there will be enough modders to pick this one up. If they can make new or upgraded character models with better facial features, if it'll be even possible, then people will replay the game more if they have this option. If not, and the modding is limited, whether technically or by modders not really making this type of mods for Exodus, then this will most probably have an impact on the replayability and the game reviews, and probably also the game's sales in the end. The game is made with Unreal Engine 5, and games made with Unreal Engine 5 are moderately difficult to mod, because the engine compiles and encrypts assets into files with proprietary formats, meaning they are generally harder to modify than older games or titles built on different engines, like Unity, for example. There is no single master toolkit for all Unreal Engine 5 games. Even minor updates to the base game's engine version can change the binary structures in the background and break community-made mods, making essentially the games unplayable. Not to mention that the developers frequently encrypt game files to prevent piracy, and therefore many games use software that blocks mod files. So it'll be up to Archetype to how they want to approach the situation, whether they will allow it in the first place or not. Honestly, considering that we have Wizards of the Coast financing this project, it can go both ways. Wizards have strict copyright policies which can complicate fan projects like mods. For example, Neverwinter Nights features a legendary toolset that allows players to create their own custom modules and campaigns. On the other hand, we have Baldur's Gate 3. While not officially supporting an extensive modding toolkit, it has a thriving community on platforms like the Nexus mods. However, Wizards of the Coast's strict approach to licensing has sometimes caused friction in the past. They have, for example, notably issued, and later apologized for, a mistaken DMCA takedown on a popular Baldur's Gate 3 mod for Stardew Valley. Hence a big question mark here from my side on how the potential modding will or will not be limited by the studio and the publisher. Personally, I've been playing both types of games, those RPGs where you can fully create from scratch your protagonist and play around with every little detail, think of Mass Effect, and also those games where you have simply a predefined character and that's it, like The Witcher. For the most part, it wasn't a deciding factor whether I play the game or not. There's really a ton of other aspects which are more important in a game. But in general, the main character, if not customizable, had to be attractive or at least interesting for me to immerse myself in the game and enjoy it for what it is. Exodus chose kind of a middle road. It's neither a fully customizable character, nor is it a final unchangeable one. From the recent games, Crimson Desert comes to my mind, which has made the same decision. However, with Crimson Desert, I think we can all agree that the characters you can adjust through hairstyles or eye color are in general more attractive than the characters we've seen so far in Exodus. I know it's personal taste, but I'm not necessarily fond of the male preset in Exodus, to be honest, and I've already mentioned this before. Aside from a few fan-made posters and pics, we haven't seen a single frame from the game showing a female June Aslan. If she's looking the same Play-Doh style like her male counterpart, with the same Uncanny Valley vibes, I might not be fond of the female preset either. But as I'm yet to see it, I'd rather reserve judgment here for the moment. So for now, I consider this limited customization option to be rather a minus point for the game, to be honest. And based on the reactions I've seen so far, I'm surely not alone. Let's see what more information we'll be getting over the coming months until the game releases. And hopefully not just limited to a single Discord server, which would exclude a large portion of the player population. But I'd love to hear what you think of this decision from the studio, and to what degree you'll consider this aspect of the game, meaning a full character customization, to be important for you. What's your impression of the characters so far, and what do you think the modding community will do with this game? Do you think Archetype will release maybe their own mod kit, similar to what some other studios have done? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you've come this far in the vid and you like it, don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button. It'll be very helpful for the channel's visibility and much appreciated from me. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, stay tuned and game on!